Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast, a brand new episode this week where, as you can tell by the title, 3 straight losses in a row since the last one. Obviously, Ajax happened, no game at the weekend, and then obviously Napoli last night, which you could say we were unfortunate to lose it in the way we did, but we still lost the game. But there is positives to take out of it, which is the main thing that hasn't been there in the past couple of games. So we'll talk about our thoughts on the 90 minutes. And we'll look forward to the Dundee United game, which usually Dundee United at home should be a formality to win. But this time it's literally, we need to win the game. We cannot go into the international break on a loss or a draw. We need to win. So we'll talk through our team and how we think that one's going to go. But as always, if you could like, subscribe, share, always appreciated. You can see as well, Big Sans, the referee, didn't like that one last night. So, Napoli obviously happened last night. First game back obviously since the Queen's passing for the weekend there, and if you'd have told me, as I said to you earlier on the day, we would have went toe to toe with Napoli for 70 minutes of the game, and I mean it didn't look like any team was going to maybe edge it, but we were level. I would have took it, and we saw a reaction last night, which I think a lot of people were wanting to see. The main thing anyway, because the last two performances have just been so negative and boring and depressing to even think about. Shipping 8 goals in the 2 games, another 3 last night as well, which isn't great viewing. But the man in the photo there, it kind of all changed when he went off. Sands, unfortunate, felt sorry for him getting the red card. Could tell he was gutted there, even when looking at his face and when he walked off. But then heroics after that for Al McGregor and the 2 penalty saves. The third penalty was just too much. And then after that, it was sort of a team like Napoli just showing their qualities, how good they can be using that extra man, and they dominated and demolished us after that. But there's a lot to take out of last night's game that you can be positive about, and a lot you can sort of take out and look forward to seeing in the future games, I think.
Definitely, mate. Just echo what you said there. To tell me after watching us play Ajax and obviously in the Old Firm as well, but to watch, especially in the Ajax game when there was no fight, there was no hunger, there was no nothing, to turn around and go 70 minutes toe to toe with Napoli, who looked like they were going to, for me, run away with it in the group. They battered Liverpool, not only by the scoreline, but for me, throughout the game. So you go toe to toe with them for 70 minutes before the UEFA Mafia come in on it. It's something that I'm proud of. I'm proud of Alan McGregor, as I say, somebody who obviously I've been vocal with, you as well, that we both thought he shouldn't be the number 1 this season. Maybe he's past it. Showed last night he's no past it at all. Maybe when punting the ball, it's like watching, do you know what I mean? He does a lot of NFL run up when then punts it. Maybe get, what was the thing? Was McLaughlin, was it not McLaughlin or something? That was it Lundstrom or was it Sands or somebody was punting the ball?
They were doing these goal kicks where the defender was taking the goal kick.
Maybe do that with McGregor, but the reflexes aren't still there, and he was unlucky not to get that third one inches away from it. But no, overall, I was proud of him, mate, and I was proud of the full team. They gave everything. That's all we, as fans, we asked for. As you turn up, you give everything on these nights and these occasions. I mean, what a team to be up against, though. Napoli were fantastic, I thought, as well. Really in the middle of the park, I thought they controlled the game. But overall, mate, I was proud of the performance, as I say, and proud of the team. But just the result obviously didn't go our way. Obviously, after, what was it, the second one goes in, I think it's if they just switches off then, and it really feel like game's done. But I tell you what, I don't really want to watch Glenn Kamara play for us again, I'll be honest with you. I feel it for the guy, but at the same time, he's not the same player. And as you look at as well, that's obviously something a lot of people were touching on last night. I think it was Lundstrom and Sands, the only 2 players to be brought in that won a part of Gerrard's team that played the first, was it Europa League game against Villarreal. So, I mean, that is something there that tells you. Honestly, my first thought after the game last night was the board of yet again it comes to the board. If we had a creative midfielder, I thought that we could have done a hell of a lot more. We could have maybe obviously definitely put the ball in the net, but we could have exploited a lot more spaces. What have you? Just somebody to break the game down for us would have been.
You know, a right winger would be welcomed as well, because obviously we've signed Matondo. Matondo's still kind of not sure what's going to actually happen with him in his Rangers career, but it's not been too promising so far. But even when he came on, he tried to do things with the ball. Maybe the game was sort of out. He's out of sight by that point, but he still. He still attempted to do stuff like that. By that point, we weren't really getting up the pitch.
We were out,
I remember when he came on, he won the ball back and he was fighting for it. But I saw I want his effort and he done that, I think, last night. But then if we had somebody that was like Abada for Celtic, for instance, to use an example, somebody who's goal scoring always looks a threat on the right hand side, even the left hand side now. You're talking about Ryan Kent. I think we need new wingers everywhere now. And I sort of, when that game finishes, you're disappointed with how it happened because you felt that we deserved a lot more. But you also just look at the
opposition
scumbags, but then the scumbags that are sitting up on the board that didn't invest in the playing squad, and Gio's having to take the fall for that, which I just don't like at all. Because I mean, starting Ryan Jack, Arfield, and Davis in a game against Napoli, for me, I was frightened for the get go because I'm like, what is actually happening here? But even they handled the midfield battle pretty well. I thought up until obviously the red card and things had to change, I thought they done really well. Ryan Jack playing more in a kind of advanced role at times. Arfield digging in and nearly scoring in the first half, and Davis done really well, I thought, as well. Lundstrom dropped into a back three, back five at times, and we were flexible with the formation, and we really annoyed Napoli, I think, to be honest, with the way we set up. And on another day, things could have been different for us in terms of the result. But if you look at the stats, the game of 10 shots, 3 on target isn't great at home, but Napoli, 25 shots with 10 on target. I didn't actually think they had that much, but 57% possession as well, passing the ball a lot more accurately as well. Obviously, we get a red card. But you're up against a good side, and then you see kind of that's where they had their formation at last night as a 3-5-2, which I think that actually worked quite well. To be honest with you, I thought that I liked the look of that. See, when you've got players maybe in the middle of the park, like that wouldn't be the midfield I would play all the time, but that is the kind of formation I really quite like.
No, I like it as well, mate. I like the lot. Obviously, just to come in as just to complement Napoli. I think that midfield complements itself so well, by the way. All three of them. See, just watching the way they control the ball, the way they can just ping a pass and what have you. I really rate them. Also, that centre half that we were shouting out today as well. Number 3. He did really well as well. I've got a wee soft spot for Simeone, but I'll keep that between me and you. But hey, listen, that winger we were all terrified by. He had a very quiet night. He was always seeming he was having a shot. He always looked to go for the colour. He was always seeming to try to colour it. Just going back to the 3-5-2, mate. I like that as well. I think it complements us very well. And I'd like to see maybe Cholak and Morelos lead the line. I'd like to see the two of them play together. You can maybe say the two of them maybe don't complement each other, whatever, but I'd like to see our best players play together. Personally,
I even like that sort of way as well, because Ryan Kent maybe playing next to Morelos or just behind him, I think will be better than sticking him out in the wing. And because we have nobody in the right hand side, Tavernier's probably the best option we've got, a right-handed sort of attacker. So why not push him forward a wee bit, and he can sort of play as a right winger as for us. And hopefully when Yilmaz comes into the team, he can play on that left-hand side. I just think it suits us so much more as a team. All the players we bought, I just think that's the formation we should be playing now, not only in Europe, in the league as well. I think that's exactly the way forward. But I mean, I'm not the manager. Gio he said he wasn't going to change his philosophy, so we'll see. But we know we're flexible in formation. I really would like to see that a lot more, though, that formation. I'd rather have probably Lundstrom in the middle of the park, and then when Ben Davies is fit, Leon King maybe.
Who's that guy?
Nah, who's Ben Davies? I know.
Is that guy we paid big money for and he's not kicked the ball yet?
Nah, sadly that's the summer transfer window, but and then obviously just looking at the Napoli side as well, a lot of great quality young players on that side. I was impressed with quite a few of them. So
we've got a couple of dinosaurs in all
in that team. I don't think so. I think most of them are all pretty young.
Number 6 not been around for a while.
And the left backs probably the oldest player in the team. That's all.
Yeah, listen, 68. He impressed me a lot last night.
Zielinski, obviously, he was pretty good as well.
They know how to play the game. I'll give them that as well. A lot of diving going about as well, throwing themselves to the floor and what have you. Obviously, because they know that Phil would go for it. I mean, that referee, 5 minutes in the room, please. That's what I would love. I mean, guy's a scumbag. You know what I mean? Back pocket, definitely. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. It just 3 penalties and a red card. How you meant to
Well,
do it now?
not even just then like that, mate. It's a wee silly ones he would fall for. See the ones where I can't remember who it was. Was it? I think it might have been Simeone or number 21 there. I think somebody threw himself to the floor, and it wasn't even a foul, and the guy was still down. And then he just got magically up when the ball had moved away.
Mm-hmm.
The play had continued. Do you know what I mean? I've just the referee all night was doing my head in, and then the penalty getting retaken, what have you. It was a frustrating night in terms of that. But going on to the penalties, mate, just get your thoughts on the first one, obviously with Sands and what have you.
Sands was really unlucky, to be fair, because he tracked I think it was him and Lundstrom.
Both.
But then it's just the way the player hit the ball. He was going to get the ball, I think, and then he just sort of hit it through his legs, and he went into the man. Unfortunate for him, and he obviously gets his marching orders for obviously being on a yellow, and then the penalty. Some heroics for the penalty, though. I mean, McGregor saving the first one, then having to step back up, then save another one. I felt that gave us a huge lift after that. But then it was just with the 10-minute, Napoli just picked us apart, and they got their chances. They got the penalty again. I mean, if they don't get that, do we stay in the game and push for a winner? But yeah, that's why it's so annoying, because we were so in the game, and just a red
Even
card.
we were in the game, for myself personally, I thought it, just as we were coming out of the second half, I think myself, this is get 1-0 Rangers written all over it, innit? But then obviously, what happens, as I say, last ditch defending for Lundstrom and Sands, and takes one for the team. That's what it was really there. You can't really complain with that one for me. The Barisic ones, I don't know. To me, that was ball to hand. But aye.
I don't know. It's what they kind of rules in it. They can either go your way or not, and everything possible went against us last night. So it's unfortunate, and it leaves us with a massive uphill task to go and do anything in this group, because it's already as tough as it was, and then to be bottom of the group, no points, no goals scored. I mean, poor goal difference, a double header against Liverpool coming up. I mean, it's going to be tough, especially having to go to Naples as well. We've seen the hostile atmosphere that is. It's just, we're going to need to pick up the form. We're going to need to pick it up well, because I don't want to just rely on playing at home. I think that's maybe the problem this team have. They're too comfortable playing at home, because we know that we're going to get a performance, but I need that away. I need that away from home. I need that when you go to St Mirren away. I need that when you go anywhere away from home, like that same level of commitment. And I don't want it to only be at Ibrox on a European night.
No. It has to be week in and week out. For me, the next two Champions League games are the ones for me, really. You know, I'll take finishing bottom of the group, but if we can get a point at Anfield and potentially do something at home, but you know this level of competition that we're going up against, I think
we'll need to be at the top.
The most difficult group, I would say, in the whole tournament, if we're being honest with ourselves, do you know what I mean? And I think it just shows, do you know what I mean? I think the way that the board could look at it is, as fans, we're looking at it as well. You've got to invest, you've got to be able to compete at this level, but they obviously feel like the squad that we've got there is good enough to compete. Which to me, it's not. It needs.
I just think we didn't get ready enough players on sort of dead wood play. Like you're looking at, I've got Sakala in the lineup, by the way, for the Dundee United game, because I've just had enough of Ryan Kent. I just think he needs dropped.
Well, listen, as I say, first half, I thought he was singing, but even his runs in, I've fallen out of love with Ryan Kent a bit, man.
I thought he tried hard, like everybody, but just the quality is just not there.
He wasn't in the game at all for me. I've got mixed emotions with him, man. I don't know if it's maybe he can't be arsed anymore, or he's just needing support. I don't know what it is, man.
I think he needs a spell on the bench. I think he needs to know that your position in the team is just droppable.
We say that, but even you know that when it comes to, like, say, Connor Goldson or what have you. Do you know what I mean? You know they're not going to get dropped because they're the best players for their position, and maybe that is the problem, because he knows he's going to be playing week in and week out. So I think
Goldson's has a poor start to the season, definitely. But last night he played well. I thought. I mean, if you can now take that.
As I said to you before, I think all our defence has a mistake in him. Sands had the mistake in him at the start of the game, where they nearly get on and goal. Barisic has a couple on them. So I mean, our defenders have mistakes in them, but they'll all still give you top performances. I thought Connor Goldson was decent as well, mate. But I think there's a run with Simeone, as I say. He just does him. Connor Goldson's going to see the running sidewards. It does my dogging in, man. I'm not a fan of that at all. But going back to Ryan Kent, maybe a spell on the bench would do him some good. because we know the player he can be. Do you know what I mean? And
that's the annoying thing, because everybody has waited for that to come, and it's just not happened for a long time. So I think somebody else getting a chance in the Dundee United game, I think, is what I would do. But I mean, we need to win, and then then you're looking at Kent. You're like, oh, surely you play your best players, but he's not been one of our best players. I think somebody else deserves a chance at that left wing spot. But Dundee United obviously coming up next. Last season we played them first couple of games of the season. They beat us 1-0. We just narrowly beat them at home. They drew one each away from home, and then we beat them. I think it was later on the season. Ahmad Diallo, I remember that game. He scored in that game. It was like 3-0 maybe. So always tough going to Dundee United, but this season Dundee United have been absolutely guff. 9-0 to Celtic a couple of weeks ago. I don't think they've got a manager yet either. So
battered in Europe as well.
Battered in Europe, literally not won games. We need to go out there and we need to.
You don't have them high on your table?
I did, because and I would have never thought for a second that Dundee United at that time would have been as bad as they are. So just shows you what can happen in a season. But notoriously a tough game. They always try and play the right game against us, definitely. But no manager, a lot of uncertainty at Dundee United, and they've been really, really poor this season. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be going and trying to put a performance on, scoring goals and getting back to winning ways. That's the main thing. We need to win this game, especially for the league chase as well. We know it's still early, and we know we've got an uphill task already in the league, but we need to start winning games. And the team I put together for this one is, I think he'll go with a 4-3-3 again. But there's no reason why there needs to be Lundstram and either Davis, Jack, or Kamara on the pitch. I'm fine with Lundstram just playing, and I want to see Yilmaz playing as well. I think Barisic, although he hasn't been good, guy needs a debut. Guy needs not a debut anyway, but another game at least. We've seen him playing pretty positively against the Queen of the South. So, give him another game in the league now and see how he can handle it. And then Arfield, I thought played well the other night, so I'm sticking him in again, and I'm putting him with Tillman because it would be Lawrence. It would be Lawrence I would play instead of Tillman, but obviously we've not got him available now, so we need as many attacking players on as possible. I think he'll go with Scott Wright over Matondo. What's the point of having Sakala there if you're not going to play him? His best football's always played on the left hand side. I feel like Ryan Kent deserves a spell on the bench. I would bring Sakala in. Why not give him another chance? And then I'd play Morelos up top, because he's the best striker at the club, and we need him fit and firing for obviously going to Anfield after, but more importantly to win this game.
No, I mean, I'm a bit concerned about you, son. You're right. You're on the positive bandwagon. We've got Arfield there.
I know it's weird. It's weird. I thought he played really well last night, and I just think
he really well last night.
He's that kind of player for this game for me.
I've got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, you can't justify paying the money we've paid for Yilmaz and no play him. He's got to be thrown in the deep end now. I don't want to hear any more excuses. These players we've paid money for have to play, so he has to be thrown in there for me. Don't know about Tillman's.
I just think, who else are you going to play?
I'm in the middle of the park, is there, tonight? I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's nobody. I would love for Tom Lawrence to be back.
Tom Lawrence will hopefully be back for the Liverpool games, the Anfield game.
I'm hoping he is. I'd like to see Sakala play. I really feel for him this season. Do you know what I mean? It seems like he's just been discarded to the side, which is unfair.
And as we've seen the stats today, like, he scored goals last season in these games specifically. We played at home. I mean, Motherwell away, hat-trick.
Frustrating player to watch at times.
He's an unbelievably frustrating player, but so's Ryan Kent, so's Scott Wright, so's every single wide player we have. I just think a natural guy that scores goals, it might take him 5 or 6 chances to actually score,
but he'll
always score, or always have a couple of good chances that will score goals, and I just feel that we've lacked that. And as you say, what's the point of having him around if you're not going to play him? So I think perfect time to give somebody else an opportunity. And I'm happy with that team. That's the kind of team for a game against Dundee United at home on current injuries and stuff. I'm fine with that.
Especially with the way Dundee are now, as you've said there, they've still not got a manager. This is a game where we have to put 4 or 5 past them just to give us that confident boost as well.
We need that statement.
We need a statement victory before the international break. I would like to start Matondo, really. I'd give the guy a chance. I feel sorry for him in the sense that he's in and he's out the team. But I suppose, as Gio said, he picks the team based on who trains the best and who he thinks is the best during training. Scott Wright, you can make a case for all of them. I really do think you can make a case for all of them. But as long as my boy Alfie's leading the line, that's all I'm caring about. I've enjoyed Cholak. I think Cholak's been a really good striker for the money we've paid for him. But when you've got Morelos there, you can't
not play him. That's the thing. Like, Cholak's really good, probably off the bench in times like maybe a game like this. I just don't like bringing Morelos off the bench. I like starting Morelos. I like starting your best players. So for me, 100%.
What about is there a chance that Davies could be involved in this game, or what have you?
Well, there very well could be. He was on the bench. He's getting to fitness, but I just don't see him dropping Sands, to be honest with you, because obviously Sands won't be able to play the next Champions League game that's going to be coming up. So I think he'll stick with him now, and then
just on
away from home against Liverpool, I think he'll obviously have to change it. It will be King or Davies, I think, or both. So
just on my boy Jimmy Sands, we put on that American top with him on the back,
Of course, need to show support to him. I felt really sorry for him last night because he handled it pretty well, and then just unfortunate with the tackle. But I think he deserves to keep his place for me. I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism compared to a lot of other players that should be getting criticised at the moment, and I just don't think he's been the worst. Obviously, we're conceding goals, which isn't good, but I don't think he's at fault for a lot of.
I've got a bit of just. See, on Tillman, I like him. I think he's a really good player and what have you. But as I say, see all the fancies and all that kind of stuff. Like, you're not playing with Bayern Munich anymore.
I need him to get quicker on the ball. I need you
to be quick. I need you to be sharp. I need you to make. Do you know what I mean?
He just wants too much time in the ball all the time.
But that's what I'm saying. He wants too much time because of the teams he's played with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Playing with Bayern Munich, they've got the ball all day long. They can do whatever the hell they want with the ball. With us, do you know what I mean? Quick one touches. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? Make runs. Because I feel like he's like a sloth on the park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just slow, man.
This is why a game like this might suit him, because we're going to obviously dominate the ball and have a lot of opportunities, I would hope. So it might be ideal for him here. He needs to obviously hit form again. So it's a big game. It's a big game, and we literally can't lose or draw. We need to win the game going into the international break.
I don't even see. Sorry to hang me there, mate, but not even just winning the game. It has to be a battering for me. It has to be one of these statement victories for ourselves, just to get the confidence back about the team. In terms of that, we can go away and blow teams away just before the international break. A win is a must. To me, it needs to be a battering.
Yeah,
you have to go and slaughter them. But we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, a lot of positivity last night, even though in a bad result, but it's something hopefully we can take into the weekend's game, and I actually kind of look forward to seeing what team's going to be selected and how we play, get the result hopefully. So, that was all I had to really talk about today. A bit more positive than last time, which is good, even though we get beat.
Even though we get beat, bit of positivity. But I tell you what, man, you got a scumbag on my screen there.
I know, the less said about him, the better.
He is one of them where he has to be the centre of the attention every time he plays a game. Do you know what I mean? When he refs a game of football, he is. I've seen it countless times myself. Just watching Spanish league and what have you, and other Champions League games and what have you, and finals, Jack, finals. I've seen what this guy's all about. He's just a scumbag around. He was, the last time around as well.
Well, we should have beat Borussia Dortmund at home, and he hanged the goal that Kent scored for a tackle that wasn't even.
Exactly.
So poor game last night for him, I thought. But I mean, the red card he got right. I just think he kind of lost it away. But
decision makings and the way he was with the game, as I say, it's just shocking. But hey, at least let's hope we can kick on now. Hopefully, we've all got to go through this miserable international break, whether it's about the Alki Steve Clark. So.
Let's have a win to celebrate.
5 or 6, please, Rangers. That would be lovely.
That would be lovely. So,
James Sands goal.
As always, if you could like, subscribe, and share for us, very appreciated. And we'll see you hopefully next week with some positivity going into the national break.